Hello, I trust you are well. I am Peter Kirby, staff writer at Activist Post and author of the book Chemtrails Exposed, a New Manhattan Project. In this video, I will be reading my latest article, a PhD authored peer-reviewed conspiracy theory. Yes, I know this article and video are a bit watered down. They largely contain information already known to regular consumers of this work. But these things can be useful in our information war. The objective nature of this article and video can allow them to permeate the minds of the hitherto uninitiated. Personally, I am going about submitting this article to a few new media outlets that would not otherwise cover the chemtrail issue. If any of these other outlets run with it, I will notify my group email list. Wish us luck. I plan to be back next week, tearing the establishment a new one, as usual. Cheers. A world-famous PhD scientist has had 23 peer-reviewed journal articles published supporting the chemtrail hypothesis. The chemtrail hypothesis states that we are being routinely and intentionally sprayed with massive amounts of particulate matter from high-flying jet aircraft. In recent years, this scientist's articles have been co-authored by, among others, the sitting medical director of the Monroe County, Florida Department of Health. The PhD scientist in question is Dr. James Marvin Herndon. His co-author is Dr. Mark Whiteside, MD. In these peer-reviewed papers, Drs. Herndon and Whiteside have found that tree die-offs, wildfires, bird, bat, and bee die-offs, harmful plankton blooms, as well as human health impacts such as neurodegenerative disease, respiratory disease, and heart disease can all be attributed to ongoing chemtrail spraying operations. One may access all of their anti-geoengineering papers online. Dr. J. Marvin Herndon is an American interdisciplinary scientist. He earned his B.A. in physics in 1970 from the University of California at San Diego, and his Ph.D. in nuclear chemistry in 1974 from Texas A&M University. He has worked extensively with famous scientists such as geochemist Hans Suess and Manhattan Project physical chemist Harold Urey, who themselves were trained by master scientists, including Nobel laureate Niels Bohr. Dr. Herndon's scientific papers have been published in world-class journals such as the Proceedings of the Royal Society of London and the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. He has also been profiled in the popular press worldwide, including a Discover magazine cover story. Dr. Herndon is a well-known and respected politically active citizen. Dr. Herndon started noticing the lines in the sky in about 2014. It wasn't long before he had his first anti-geoengineering journal article published in June of 2015. This paper was the first journal article ever to assert that geoengineering was currently ongoing in the skies above us. From this first anti-geoengineering paper, Dr. Herndon has provided scientific evidence indicating that the substance with which we are being sprayed is coal fly ash, a toxic waste byproduct of today's electrical power industry. Dr. Herndon has gone on to provide quite a bit of further scientific evidence showing in a multitude of ways that coal fly ash is the substance in question. Also from his earliest work on the subject, Dr. Herndon has been writing about the biological implications of these geoengineering activities. Dr. Herndon's work in the area of the biological impacts pertaining to ongoing geoengineering activities was taken to the next level in late 2016. This was when the aforementioned Dr. Mark Whiteside joined him. Dr. Whiteside had thoroughly reviewed Herndon's website and subsequently contacted Dr. Herndon. Dr. Herndon soon suggested that they work together. The initial result of this collaboration was the first ever peer-reviewed anti-geoengineering journal article. It was published in February of 2017. This paper confirmed that the substance being sprayed is coal fly ash, and it delved further into the biospheric implications. Since these early papers, Dr. Herndon has gone on to publish a total of 23 peer-reviewed anti-geoengineering journal articles. These articles have appeared in the Journal of Geography, Environment and Earth Science International, the Journal of Advances in Medicine and Medical Research, and the Asian Journal of Biology. Other authors have joined him in writing these peer-reviewed articles, such as Raymond D. Hosington, Dale D. Williams, and Ian Baldwin. Many editors and peer reviewers have been involved. Much of Herndon's evidence pertaining to the biospheric implications of dispersed coal fly ash particles has been taken from epidemiological studies of pollution particles. Being that coal fly ash has been emitted from the smokestacks of industrial plants for over 100 years, there is much available data. Doctors Herndon and Whiteside have used these already existing studies to substantiate their claims. A fundamental question here is whether or not what we all witness in the sky is chemtrails or just contrails. If those long streaks in the sky that we see routinely emitted from passing jet aircraft are simply the product of normal, unadulterated jet fuel combustion and nothing else, then they are just contrails, and we have nothing to be concerned about. But, according to Dr. Herndon and his scientific evidence, this is not the case. You see, a contrail is the result of unadulterated jet fuel combustion exhaust when the surrounding atmosphere is very cold and humid. Under these atmospheric conditions, the water in jet exhaust quickly freezes to form visible ice crystals. Then, in under 15 seconds, these ice crystals dissipate and the contrail disappears. In relatively warm climates, most of the time, jet engine exhaust is invisible, and therefore contrails are rarely seen. Dr. Herndon has detailed these scientific facts in his papers. Further, in a 2017 Coast to Coast AM interview, Dr. Herndon notes that most modern jet aircraft engines are what we call turbofan engines, which chiefly use a large fan for propulsion. Dr. Herndon says that only about 10% of the necessary thrust comes directly from the burning of the fuel, and about 90% comes from air movement, not exhaust. This greatly reduces the likelihood of contrail production, almost eliminating the possibility entirely. Further still, in yet another peer-reviewed journal article published in March of this year, Dr. Herndon has produced radiometric evidence which shows that the lines in the sky are particulate matter and not harmless contrails. These findings should obviously be the subject of extensive public discussion. We're talking about an unparalleled environmental catastrophe, evidenced by extremely credible data. One might think that the mainstream media would at least cover these developments. Instead, Herndon's corporate media coverage here has been non-existent. Why is this? One might think that big corporate media outlets would love to run a story like this. It should generate quite a bit of interest, which, in the media business, translates to more ad revenue. Dr. Herndon's findings raise serious environmental issues, and the mainstream media's subsequent lack of interest raises serious questions about their operations as well. The mainstream media's business model is apparently a little more complex than what it appears to be. For the entire story of what today's mainstream media ignores, please buy the author's book, Chemtrails Exposed, A New Manhattan Project, now available exclusively at Amazon.com. Or please sign up for my email list at my website, peterakirby.com. Thank you.